The American Eagle is sort of the perfect storm for a bullion coin. It sits at this weird time in history where the world was rapidly advancing.
America's first space shuttle.
There was lots of history going on, but also art is changing very rapidly during this period. And it also highlights a unique set of economic circumstances that allowed for this type of coin to be made. By the time the first silver eagles were minted in 1986, the world was already well aware that this wasn't merely about adding another silver coin into the mix. This was about channeling a long legacy of US coinage into a modern collectible, while also addressing a problem that had been brewing in the background for decades. So let's talk about why this coin was made, the designs that were ultimately selected and their meanings, so we can understand the political and economic climate that allowed these coins to come into production. Before you continue, I put a lot of love into every single one of these videos, and I absolutely love to be here. So if you enjoy these videos, you want to see more of them, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And make sure to click the like button. That promotes my video to more and more people. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the video. The first silver eagles wouldn't be minted until 1986, but to understand the full story of how these coins came into existence, we have to go back decades earlier when the United States began accumulating a large stockpile of silver. There's really two things that we can attribute to this large stockpile of silver, and that's the ever-changing policies around silver coinage, and the United States' gradual shift away from the silver standard. All throughout the 20th century, the United States used a ton of silver in circulating coins, particularly dimes, quarters, half dollars. But by the 1960s, the price of silver had risen, and this started to pose a challenge. The intrinsic value of silver coins began to exceed their face value, and this led to widespread hoarding of coins. Now, the US had already taken everybody's gold during the Great Depression, and they didn't want to do that again. So to respond to this issue, the United States government passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed silver from most circulating coins and transitioned into a primarily copper-nickel-based alloy for dimes and quarters. As silver was being phased out of coinage, the US Treasury found itself holding vast reserves of silver. Much of the silver was stockpiled to mint silver coinage, but as demand for silver coinage waned, the reserves continued to grow. By the early 1980s, the US government was left with a significant excess of silver, which was no longer needed for the circulating coins. At the same time, the global silver prices were fluctuating dramatically. For example, in the late 1970s, silver prices skyrocketed, partially due to the infamous attempt by the Hunt brothers to corner the silver market, which temporarily drove up prices to unprecedented levels. By the early 1980s, the silver market had mostly stabilized, but the interest for silver as a commodity was still very high. To manage the excess silver reserves and tap into the growing interest in silver, Congress sought out a solution that would be beneficial for both the public and the government. The result was the Liberty Coin Act of 1985, which authorized the US Mint to produce a new 1-ounce silver bullion coin. And that's the Silver Eagle. The idea was to sell off this massive stockpile of silver that the government had accumulated in the form of these new coins, thereby reducing the stockpile while giving the public access to pure silver in a trusted government-backed form. The first American Silver Eagles were minted in 1986, and they quickly gained popularity among collectors and enthusiasts. With their classic design that echoed the nation's rich numismatic past and their purity struck from 1 troy ounce of 0.999 fine silver, the Silver Eagles became a cornerstone of US coinage. And at the heart of the Silver Eagle's appeal is its design. The obverse of the coin features Adolph A. Weinman's iconic Walking Liberty. You may recognize this design from the Walking Liberty half dollar from 1916. This image of liberty striding confidently towards the sunrise, draped in an American flag and holding branches of laurel and oak, it symbolizes both hope and prosperity. Weinman's design is widely regarded as one of the most beautiful US coins, and it was chosen for the Silver Eagle to invoke a sense of continuity with the nation's past while embodying the optimism of its future. The reverse has gone through a handful of changes throughout time. From 1986 until 2021, the coin featured John Mercanti's heraldic eagle. The design presents an eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, and it kind of echoes the Great Seal of the United States, which I really like. Mercanti's eagle symbolizes America's readiness to defend its values, while also seeking peace. The image feels powerful and dignified. But in 2021, the Silver Eagle would go through its first major redesign. The reverse was updated with a new design by Emily Damstra. Known as the Eagle in Landing, the new reverse also depicts a bald eagle. Wings outstretched, and it's clutching an oak branch, kind of like it's gathering materials for its nest. This design marked a new era for the Silver Eagle, but it is one that remains true to its roots of American symbolism. The design process for the Silver Eagle wasn't only about aesthetics, but also about the message that it would send. By merging classic American imagery with modern minting technology, the US Mint sort of created a coin that celebrates the ideas of liberty and strength while ensuring the highest levels of craftsmanship. Throughout the relatively short history of the American Silver Eagle, there are certain years that pop out due to lower mintages, design changes, and special editions. One of the most notable dates for this coin is 1996, a year remembered for producing the lowest mintage of standard bullion Silver Eagles, with just 3.6 million coins struck. This year's release is rare compared to the average production levels, making it a standout piece in any collection. Another significant year is 2006. This was the 20th anniversary of the Silver Eagle. So, to commemorate this milestone, the US Mint introduced a special reverse proof coin. That's a version where the background is frosted, and it has raised design elements that have kind of a mirror-like finish. And like we talked about earlier, 2021 is maybe the most significant change to the Silver Eagle. After 35 years of the same reverse design, the US Mint introduced that new Eagle landing design. Now, it's important to note that both the Type 1, the previous design, and the Type 2, the newer design, were minted in 2021. So that adds a unique opportunity to collect the two coins together, which I think is really awesome. And just personally for me, like, that change happened in my lifetime. The last cool coin change to happen during my lifetime was 2009. They changed to the Shield penny, and it's just cool to have a different coin go through a different cool change. The American Silver Eagle, to many, is considered a work of art. It was designed with care and intention, and it's a piece of history that kind of carries the legacy of American ideals. I mean, they pulled designs from previous coins with the Walking Liberty design, and now we're watching them update the coin in real time. The coin kind of captures the essence of American values, which I think is cool. Freedom, resilience, strength, adaptability. Don't forget, we make videos every single week on YouTube, and on Instagram we're posting like every single day. If you like rare coins and you just haven't found somebody who's making content that you want to watch, hit the subscribe button, follow us on Instagram, and I'm gonna try to keep you entertained with like high-level numismatic stuff. So stay tuned, follow Premier Rare Coins, and I'll see you in the next one.